Last week, Iowa shocked the nation, and it had nothing to do with the upcoming presidential candidate caucuses. A group of radical anti-Christians received permission from the Iowa state legislature to erect a false idol glorifying Satan in the Capitol building. Right in the middle of the Christmas season, or Advent. Can you imagine what would have happened if a neo-Nazi group or Hamas had petitioned to erect an anti-Jewish display in a government building during Hanukkah? The outrage would have been ballistic. The bureaucrats and legislators would have thrown that petition out so fast it would have made everyone's head spin. But when literal Satanists, people dedicated to hating Christians and Christianity, want to do it during Christmas, they are given 2 weeks to blaspheme. And the most sickening part was the way some of these so-called Christian legislators kowtowed to the Satanists in defense of this false idol. State Representative and supposed pastor John Dunwell repeatedly defended the satanic display on Twitter, renamed X. Among his many shocking statements, he aggressively rejected the idea that America is or ever could be a Christian nation. When attacked on Twitter over his defense of the holiday satanic display in the state capitol, Reverend Dunwell replied, "I will not back down. I'll be providing his contact. I'm asking all of our Iowan supporters to contact his office and demand his resignation over his betrayal." Dunwell and others like him want to act like this is all a game and fair is fair. This is not a game. We are in a war for the soul of America and the defense of the very lives of our nation's children. I've read my Bible cover to cover, and God has never blessed any nation that allows idols to Satan to be erected in public spaces. Public advocates spun into action and dispatched one of my top staffers to Iowa to organize resistance against the anti-Christian display and the homosexual lobby. In order to fight back against the perverse message of Satanism, Public Advocate is putting up signs around a major presidential rally with one simple message of truth. There are only two genders. This simple message is a red-hot poker in the eye of the homosexual lobby and their allies. We must reject the lies of our enemies and hold fast to the truth. As God's holy word says, male and female, he created them. There are only two genders, and no amount of surgery or chemical alteration will ever change that. And we want to make sure that message is front and center in Iowa as they select the next Republican candidate for president. Thankfully, the satanic display has already been dealt with by one brave American. 35-year-old Michael Cassidy, a former Navy pilot and recent candidate for political office, marched up to this display and ripped the Baphomet goat head right off it. He did what no elected leader in Iowa was brave enough to do. He beheaded a literal monument to Satan. Now he's facing serious criminal charges for defiance. I have asked Public Advocate's lawyers to look into how we might help Mr. Cassidy. But there's something you can do right now. I'm calling on all Public Advocate supporters across the country to contact the Iowa governor's office and insist that she issue a full pardon to Michael Cassidy for his actions in the Capitol. Governor Kim Reynolds, officer number 517-281-5211. Let her know that all of America is watching, and we all stand with Mr. Cassidy's actions. And then I need all my Iowan supporters, and anyone else who can spare the time, to contact Representative John Dunwell. We must hold this traitor accountable for his literal defense of Satan. Call or email Rep. Dunwell and demand his resignation immediately. Legislative email, John Dunwell Ligas, Iowa. Gov home email, J. Dunwellme. Com Capitol phone, 5 and 15, 281-3221. I will have more updates from our man on the ground in Iowa later this week. Stay tuned and stay alert.